Well, I'm going to be calling this video Goodbye, Ferris. Diviners just finished the other day, and it's been a crazy ride, this whole freaking production. I met some really cool people and a few amazing people, and it's strange, how a production can linger and dig into your life. Sometimes you play a villain, and so you start becoming a villain in your own life, and I think sometimes it's difficult to find that separation between you and the character. And Ferris wasn't a bad guy. He really wasn't. But he was so mired in his love for his dead wife. He said, she's my darling, my Sarah. Or no, geez, I'm losing lines already. Let's see, what was the line again? She made me so happy. She was my darling, my Sarah. And ain't nothing on earth gonna change it. He was so wrapped up in that love, and he felt that he'd be doing it injustice if he were to ever move on. And it's that thing of not moving on that I think prevented him from helping his son get over his own fear of water because of what happened to his mother. And it's sad. It really is. And part of me wonders, well, why did Ferris never move on? And that's a tough question. From the way the story puts it, she had been gone for 10 years. 10 years. That's a ridiculous amount of time. And he had 2 kids too. So it's like, what did he do that entire time? Did he just dive completely into the cars and just never lifted his head back up? Because honestly, that's the way it seems, He relied on his daughter to raise his son as best he saw fit. All because he couldn't move on. And I came to kind of my own conclusions. It really seems like, the townsfolk really avoided Ferris. Granted, mainly because there weren't any scenes with any of the characters, or, the only characters that really interacted with Ferris were, there was C.C. Showers, who just came to town, so he didn't know, about Ferris or his family or anything like that. And as he did get to know him, he was mad at Ferris, He let his son go. He was in pain and itching all the time. His daughter was off courting older men, and all the while, he's just busy working in the garage. The only person that he could really confide in was Basil. And at the same time, it seemed like Ferris, was trying to make Basil feel better. But, he was so caught up in not looking at his own problems. And, he could really have taken his own advice, yeah, you gotta want things better, they're only gonna get worse. And I think, that's advice that everybody could use. You know, you gotta want things better or they're only gonna get worse. Well, I'm amazed at how easily this is all coming off. This isn't even a new blade. And yeah, I'm sure not many people are gonna watch this. But you know, sometimes it's nice to open up a little bit. Let people into your daily routine. Especially something, you know, where you're letting go of something, you know. And I put a lot of time and effort into Ferris, you know, trying to understand him, where he was, the place that he was living, you know, and I had certain elements in my own life that, you know, I could directly relate to Ferris, you know. I know what it's like to be, you know, a single dad and trying to raise 2 kids on your own, you know. Being a husband was a piece of damn cake compared to being a daddy full time, and it's true, you know. At least when you're in a relationship, you know, your partner's able to care for themselves, you know, hopefully. But kids can't take care of themselves. You know, he says, you know, kids, they're just fine on their own, but they're not. They really aren't just fine on their own. You let them grow like weeds, and you know what's going to happen? They're going to feel unwanted, and they're going to be looked on as, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Well, I guess like a pest, but, you know, like a weed, you know, undesirable. You know, and in some ways, you know, I think, well, like if you look at what was going on with CC Showers and Jenny May, you know, she wanted to be desirable, and she saw this new person in town, and you know, she wasn't a weed, you know, to him. You know, she was just a sweet girl that, you know, he could talk to, and there was that. And Buddy, everybody saw Buddy as, you know, strange, but he had a talent, so, you know, he was useful. But, you know, how often was he actually involved with anybody inside the town outside of just, you know, looking for water? You know, it was just Buddy and his sister. You didn't see Melvin or Dewey trying to court Jenny May or actually spending time with Buddy. So, you know, they were very very isolated. You know, I'm kind of sad to see the play go, but at the same time I'm happy because, you know, it means I can move on to something else. Because it you know, it is a sad play. It really is. And I gotta get Ferris out of my voice, because, you know, he keeps creeping up in and out again, you know. I'm still amazed that the voice came out, you know, just while we were reading the book. That first line reading, he just popped right out. Wasn't even what I was trying to do, you know, just reading the words, and there it was. But it'll be nice to put it to bed. Try and be me. Well, looks like it's almost all gone. After this, take a shower and figure out what I'll start doing with my hair next. Who knows? Oh yeah, I'm sure I'm missing some spots, but I don't have my glasses on, so deal with it. Well, I don't know. Those are some of my conclusions from the play. You know, would I have liked it to end better? Yeah, I would have. Would it have had as much of an emotional impact? No, not at all. So, and you know, I'm sure that's why it needs to be the way it is, you know. And it was really nice, you know, the one night where we did the brush-up rehearsal, I got to run out and try and save Buddy. You know, because I think if Ferris had had that opportunity, you know, I think that would have helped him. Even just for a day. Poor Ferris. No, he's somebody else's problem. Somebody else can learn about him. Somebody else can discover their own insights on the character and his history. And I'm glad, as many people came out to the show, and, it felt great, seeing people I wasn't expecting, and forming some really strong bonds and interesting relationships with people. That's the amazing thing about a production, I guess. It's you develop this family, and then it goes away. But you still keep on loving. You say, they made me so happy. They're my cast. I would have loved to have probably gone on for another month or so, with performing it, because each night, I was learning something new. But I guess that's life. You always wish you had more time. Okay, I think I'm done here. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see y'all later.